If you really want to seriously deal with the issue of fighting crime, you invest in the types of programs that are going to give at-risk kids a healthy start.
Yakima Police Chief Sam Granado met with Washington Senators Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell in Washington, D.C.
Today, law enforcement experts say an increased child tax credit, now before Congress, would help kids avoid jail and wasted lives.
Police chiefs from around the East Bay came together this morning to take a stand against child abuse. The chiefs are calling for federal dollars to fund programs aimed at teaching parental skills to at-risk families.
Hinds County Sheriff Malcolm McMillan and Jackson Police Chief Tyrone Lewis are both backing Fight Crime, Invest in Kids.
To invest in our kids early so we won't have to deal with them later in the jails and in the criminal justice system. It's a proven fact that it works, and you're looking at a product of theirs.
I want to thank Mission Readiness for putting the spotlight on an issue that needs a great deal of attention in this country. The fact that so many youngsters are not fit for military service is indeed a wake-up call.
A new Pentagon report concludes that more than a third of Americans between 17 and 24 are unfit for military duty because of physical or medical problems.
The group Mission Readiness says those young Americans either have not graduated high school, have a criminal record, or are too out of shape.
A group of retired military officers sounded the alarm today, calling childhood obesity nothing less than a national security threat.
Retired Rear Admiral Jamie Barnett is part of a group of former military leaders who released a report today on the declining military readiness of today's youth.
We realize that it's unusual for retired admirals, generals, and other military leaders to step on this, but we want to be unexpected messengers to talk about this as a national security matter.
I join this distinguished panel of government and military leaders in commending Mission Readiness for the sobering work to advance the understanding of the critical interaction between education, nutrition, and national security.
Preschool learning is not a liberal common sense idea. It is not a conservative common sense idea. It's just plain common sense.
I'm particularly interested in what America's Edge is doing. What this report really says is we better get off our you-know-what to get this thing going, because if we don't, we're left behind.
A new report shows investments in child care and early education could bring an economic boost to New York.
The business group America's Edge produced the report.
According to the report, investing in quality early care and education programs allow working parents to be attentive to their jobs, and in turn then they have the ability to contribute to their local economy.
That new study shows that for every $1 that's invested in places like Cheerful Home here and early education, local businesses gain about $1 in additional sales.
We need lawmakers to understand what this report is all about, and when it comes time to making decisions on what things to cut and what things to invest in, that they should consider early education and child care.
Pastors have a very strong effect on our legislators. In fact, legislators tend to listen to what's going on, to the heartbeat of the community. And certainly, I think the pastors do have a very strong impact.
A faith-based group in Knoxville is urging state lawmakers to fight for funding for pre-K programs.
The group Shepherding the Next Generation is urging state policymakers to continue to support high-quality early education programs.
Here's where scripture and research connect. All would agree that it's wise to start early. Current research reveals that one of the best ways to help strengthen families is to support quality pre-kindergarten programs.
What we're trying to do is let the state legislature know in Nashville that pre-K programs are extremely important in giving children an early start.
To urge state policymakers to fund voluntary pre-kindergarten programs, they're using research based on a study in Michigan on the Perry preschool program. The study showed high-quality early education strengthens families, increases the number of men and women who marry, reduce births outside of marriage, and increase the percentage of fathers who raise their children.
The studies are conclusive that if we give these kids an early start, their chances of making it, their chances of being productive citizens goes way up.